Former Attorney General Bill Barr, who has been critical of Mr. Trump, questioning the legal merits of the case, arguing it will work to his former boss's advantage.
He feeds on grievance, just like a fire feeds on oxygen, and this is going to end up as a grievance that helps him.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. Guys, it has been a while since I showed anything from Laura Ingraham. Now, full disclosure, I really don't watch Fox News anymore, and I don't think I've watched her show live since they moved her time slot, although I really do like her. And all that said, you know, I had forgotten she's kind of a badass, and she's a very intelligent woman, and she absolutely nails the Democrats on this one. So I've got a clip. It's kind of a strange one. She's a guest on her own show, not entirely sure what's going on with that, but the subject matter is important, and her point could not be any more spot on. It is all about the Democrats and the lengths that they will go to save the world's democracies and crusade against voter suppression, which is laughable, man. I'll show you exactly what I mean, but first, guys, if you haven't already, please help the channel continue to grow. You've heard me say it. It's now 2024. Going into 2024, guys, and getting deep into it, it's going to get more and more difficult to get conservative voices heard. But we can do it, and we can do it together, and we can do it together by making sure we like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share the channel. Take a look at this.
Breaking news. It's stunning to me that we are at this point in our country, but what's your reaction to this?
Well, look, let's cut through the haze here. This is going to ultimately, unless something bizarre happens, be overturned in the Supreme Court. We all know what the Michigan Supreme Court did. They rejected this 14th Amendment nonsense. I mean, I don't repeat what the previous guest said, but obviously Donald Trump was never charged with insurrection. He was never adjudged by a court to have engaged in insurrection, certainly not in any legal sense. So what this really is voter suppression, which ironically, the voters of Maine have said overwhelmingly they're against. You know, the ACLU on their website, as I was listening on hold, Jason, the ACLU on their website has a whole page devoted to protect the right to vote. Maine votes no to voter suppression. Now, this was back in 2011, November 9th in 2011. And I'm thinking to myself, this is hilarious. Like, what is more suppressive than removing a candidate from the ballot who is leading, I believe, in every state in his primary? In the Republican primary? I mean, there is no higher definition of what a suppressive behavior is or conduct is. So they are engaging in the very conduct. You know, this is judicial interference in the election process and the representative democracy, and this is suppressing the right to vote on the part of, you know, obviously Maine residents who wish to vote for Donald Trump. But in a dozen challenges across the country, funded by these far left interests, with the sheen of being bipartisan, you know, have the veneer of, oh, this is a bipartisan challenge. You know, they find some never Trump former, you know, state senator, and then a Republican turned independent former state rep, and then they have a Democrat or a liberal mayor. So they put together this group of plaintiffs, and they say, oh, this is bipartisan. That's just a joke. It's obviously not bipartisan. They refuse, or they simply do not wish to allow the voters to have their say. This challenge is ridiculous. This ruling is ridiculous. Sheena Bellows is a far left activist. Trump is right about that. She's totally biased. She's no different from any of the other, you know, DAs or local prosecutors who, you know, just see that the idea of Republican voters being able to vote for the candidate of their choice, whoever that candidate is.
Yeah, I think it's not only suppression, but I also think it's intimidation. I think it's there to also help try to drain the money out of the Republican coffers and end up in all of these legal fights. And it's fundamentally wrong. I do hope and I do believe that the independents, the true independents that are out there, are highly offended by this, because they were the ones projecting that, oh, this is what Donald Trump would do if he were in office. And yet they're the very ones doing it right now. We have 4 years of history with Donald Trump. He never tried any of these shenanigans.
Bingo. So who's the autocrat now? Where's the autocratic behavior coming from? I would submit it's coming from the left, which refuses to allow people to make basic decisions about their lives, whether it's how they move around, what type of vehicle, what type of cooking surface they use, what type of heating they're allowed to use in their homes. Corporate censorship mixed with government censorship as we're approaching this hot election season. So I think what's going on is that as we get closer to actual voting, you're going to see this. I believe this is the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be much, much more in the way of lawfare, other hyperbolic statements about Donald Trump, which are border on the hilarious. I mean, if it weren't so serious, this could be its own, reality show of inanity. Because the comments of Trump's never going to have another election. I mean, who are the people who don't want to have an election with a candidate of the people's choosing? I mean, but Donald Trump's never going to have another election once he gets in. I don't even think they believe that. But they're just basically throwing anything against the wall. Meanwhile, our country's, obviously being completely overrun by illegal aliens as we speak.
So you guys see that, man. She absolutely freaking nails it. And really, here's the thing that I really don't think any leftist apologists could reasonably answer. If people dislike Trump policies as much as the left has told us that they do in their propaganda, if people overwhelmingly support insane liberal positions and liberal agendas like they've also told us, and if Trump really is such an easy opponent, then why are they going to such incredibly insane and really forever damaging and destructive tactics? If there's nothing to fear here, then why are they in the process of literally burning this country down, burning democracy down, and destroying the voters' right to vote that they have tried to tell people that they actually care about? They are literally willing to destroy even themselves, as Laura put it. And this is everything that the left, honestly, has promised to stand against. This is judicial interference. This is voter suppression. This is Banana Republic meets Gestapo technique at its core. And if anyone is really paying attention, anyone that's paying attention, or if any of you guys have read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals, they know exactly why this is happening. And that book will tell you everything you need to know about why this is happening. But that's all I've got, guys. I definitely really want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. And if you haven't already, guys, do not forget, like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.